Group discussions, or GDs as they are commonly called, are a part of the selection process. While not all companies use GDs, companies in India are using them increasingly, particularly MNCs during campus recruitment drives. Together, we will look at the purpose of GDs, their role in the hiring process, types of GDs, the process involved, and most importantly, tips and strategies to prepare for group discussions and participate effectively. So sit back and relax if you can. So what is a group discussion? A group discussion is an interactive live assessment in which candidates participate orally. Candidates are given a topic to discuss and expected to engage in a constructive discussion. A GD is a leaderless discussion, which means that there is no facilitator or designated person steering the discussion. Candidates are usually assessed by a panel that observes the GD and its dynamics. A group discussion is a selection method used to screen candidates by observing them on certain elements, such as interpersonal skills, that are not usually evident from other parts of the application. It's a comparative assessment in which participants are assessed relative to other participants in the same group. Many people equate group discussions to public speaking skills. While you are speaking in public during a group discussion, there are some important differences to recognize between the two. A public speaking engagement is usually when one person is delivering or communicating to a large group or many people. In a GD, however, many people are communicating with each other simultaneously, and it's not a solo performance. In public speaking, a speaker often has a particular stance on a topic and presents accordingly, while in a group discussion, the views of the entire group matter, not just individual views. Everyone is expected to participate in a GD, where participation is not just about expressing views, but about listening to the views of fellow participants. Now, why is it that group discussions have become an increasingly popular part of the shortlisting process? By the way, GDs are not used only for the hiring process, but they are also used as a shortlisting mechanism for admission to business school. So as we touched on, group discussions give candidates a chance to display different attributes than the other components of the application process. These skills are often important parameters for certain roles and companies and are otherwise difficult to assess. Let's have a look at what these skills are before looking at the types of GDs, the GD process, and how to go about preparing for it. So what skills does a GD look for? First and foremost, without a doubt, group discussions test your communication skills, which include your ability to articulate your ideas clearly, your interpersonal skills, body language, listening skills, and your communication style. GDs are an avenue to find out about your negotiation and persuasion skills, as well as your assertiveness amongst peers. Because GDs are leaderless, companies also want to preview your leadership qualities. Do you stand out amongst the group? Are you able to steer the discussion in a certain way or display problem-solving capabilities? Does anyone end up naturally facilitating the discussion or providing direction to the group? How do you interact with your peers? Are you encouraging or supportive? Next, GDs assess your content knowledge and awareness in terms of subject matter, depth, and relevance of opinions. Furthermore, they test your analytical and critical thinking skills, looking at your ability to think rationally, apply logic and reason, and even think out of the box. Finally, and this is important to note as many people overlook it, through a group discussion, panelists are trying to scope out your personality and emotional intelligence by observing how you interact with different people, your confidence, attitude and tolerance, your ability to keep your emotions in check, and your ability to work in a team and overall group dynamics. In general, group discussions are of three types: topic-based, case studies, and group tasks. Topic-based group discussions are the ones most commonly used during the recruitment process. Groups are given specific topics to discuss, which may be factual, controversial, or abstract in nature. Now, the second type, group discussions based on case studies, are when candidates are given a case to discuss that simulates a real-life situation and often have to problem solve or make some type of decision. The aim is to see how different candidates perceive the situation and there is no perfect solution. The last type, group tasks. These are not common during the hiring process, but are instead used by management institutes as an extension of type 2. In addition to the case study, the group is assigned specific objectives that they must fulfill together. Let's just spend a couple of minutes looking at topic-based group discussions since they are most common during the hiring process. Now we know that there are three types of topics you can expect to discuss: factual, controversial, and abstract. Factual topics may be historical, socioeconomic, or current affairs used to assess general awareness, content knowledge, expression, and interaction in a group setting. Examples of such topics are education policy in India, the role of trade unions, and what does Brexit mean for India? Controversial topics are argumentative in nature, and people will often have very different, diverse, and strong opinions. These topics are used to gauge if candidates are able to think rationally and express themselves in a logical manner without letting emotions get in the way. You can expect emotions to run high and lots of noise in the room. Controversial topics could be topics such as corruption is the price India pays for democracy, or women and men should be entitled to equal pay. Finally, we have abstract topics. These are not common, but never rule out the possibility of getting them. Abstract topics are about intangible things and often existential in nature, like every cloud has a silver lining, or what came first, the chicken or the egg? These topics are used to test creativity and lateral thinking. Here's an overview of the GD process. The first step is that groups are assigned and the type of GD is established. Groups usually consist of about 8 to 12 people, but they can be as large as 16 people. The seating arrangement may be a circle, semicircle, or even rectangular. Exact seats may be prefixed or left to candidates to decide. Depending on the type of GD, prep time is given. For a topic-based GD, candidates have very little prep time, if any, before the GD commences. The GD duration is usually set for about 15 minutes. Candidates are responsible for using this time effectively and should try to reach some sort of conclusion by the end. A panel of judges will be evaluating the candidates. Usually one expert is responsible for observing 2 to 3 candidates. They are simply there to observe, assess, and evaluate, and do not facilitate or engage in any parts of the GD. The GD must end at the decided time, or can even end earlier. The panel may ask the group to provide a conclusion, or in some cases may even request a summary. This could be a written or oral summary from all group members. So be prepared.